Hey, welcome to the Drep and Stone podcast, a podcast where two friends raise a glass and have a conversation. I'm Nick.
I'm Kyle.
Kyle, I think we should invite everybody to have a drink with us. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
So if you are in a comfortable spot, if you are able to drink along with us, why don't you do so? Whatever you'd like.
It's the best way to enjoy the podcast.
Absolutely. If it's water, drink some water. If you've got the drinks that we're drinking, because you saw the title of the episode, have those. If you...
Treat yourself.
If you've got a whiskey, pour that up.
Yeah, I'll take a pour.
You got some Kool-Aid? Why not?
Hey. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Man, I was watching a TikTok video, and it was with Bert Kreischer. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was, I think he was with Tom Segura, because they do their podcast together. And,
Two Bears, One Cave.
Yeah, and I know it's Two Bears, One Cave. And Bert Kreischer has this like 64-ounce like Yeti jug. And
I've seen that.
And Tom Segura's like, Tom Segura's like, what are you drinking? And Bert's like, Kool-Aid. He's like, bullshit. He's like, no, it's Kool-Aid. So he like passes the whole thing over to Tom Segura, and he takes a drink. He's like, holy shit, it is Kool-Aid.
This is just Kool-Aid. What's wrong with you?
50-year-old man drinking Kool-Aid. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Drinking a shit ton of Kool-Aid.
He's like, I think Bert waters it down a little bit. I think he talks about like watering it down. But I'm like, I'm watching that. I'm like, when was the last time I actually had Kool-Aid?
Oh, yeah. Easily, 25, 30 years.
No joke. Like, wow. And I don't know about you and how the Alabama Kool-Aid making waves, but here in Florida, man, we used to like just, pour those Kool-Aid packets into a big gallon jug and just pour sugar until like the sugar sat on top. And like, that's when the Kool-Aid was ready.
Right.
when that sugar does exactly. When that sugar doesn't mix, it's good to go.
I feel like that's every Southern drink. Like that's how sweet tea worked.
Sure.
That's how lemonade worked.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I wonder what
that would all happen.
There's probably a direct.
It's like you go over to like somebody's house that like their mom didn't know how to make it well, and it was just kind of like, oh, what is this? It's Kool-Aid. No, it ain't. It's something else.
This house drinks unsweet tea. What? Unsweet tea? Well, y'all from where? Y'all? Oh,
I thought the tea was just automatically sweet.
You're
Coke.
You're from north
just
of the Mason.
Open it up and drink it. Yeah, y'all weird.
Yeah, Maryland, you say? Okay, that makes some sense. Anyway, so all that to say, if you're drinking Kool-Aid along with us, awesome. We support it.
Indeed.
Just get a glass, put some ice in it if you'd like, and hang out with us.
Yeah. Chug-a-lug.
Speaking of that, you want to get into it?
Yeah, let's go.
So, Kyle, right now we're probably in the midst of summer travel, as we've said in episodes prior or surrounding this. So we're actually recording this a couple of weeks ago, but I would say, at least here in Florida, it's pretty squarely summer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I found myself here lately, I'm craving some like light beers. I'm craving some light and airy things, just drinks. I've been, even my whiskeys lately, I've been sipping on, big ice cubes, or sipping on the whiskey with a big ice cube, not sipping on big ice cubes.
I've fallen into that trend too myself. You just want something cold.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything's also hot and humid.
Exactly. I've become more interested lately in the seltzers.
Oh boy.
I know. I know that you're not happy to come along this journey, and that's okay. But we're gonna do it anyway.
I mean, it's funny that you bring up Kool-Aid, because that's just always kind of what jumps into my mind with the seltzers. It's like just the fruity, light Capri Sun-esqueness nature of it all.
For sure. But they're super popular, and
for sure.
Why I've said I've gotten into them is because I'm on the hunt for one that I actually enjoy. So like of the ones that I've had, there are some that are better than others, but I can't fully say I enjoy that thing.
Right.
So being on the hunt for that drink, that actual seltzer that I do like, we were recommended the Topo Chico seltzers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, can I say, I feel like it's an interesting hunt to be on.
Yeah.
Like the hunt of, I don't enjoy this that much, but there's got to be one out there that I do. It's like, I feel like it's like the exact opposite of our whiskey journey. Like your seltzer journey is just pushing through this pile of mess that is just awful trying to find the one good thing, where like whiskey is more so like, man, this is all great, and I'm trying to find what's the best of the best. It's an interesting concept.
And it's one that like I'm not relishing in because I've had to sample a lot of shit. But I like I said,
at least it's a much cheaper journey.
Exactly. And I recognize that a lot of listeners like this, and they find a brand of seltzer that they like. And I feel like there's one for me, and I haven't found it yet. So I'm making you experiment with me.
Cool. Fantastic.
So we have the Topo Chico hard seltzers. Now, actually, Topo Chico makes a like a margarita version of these hard seltzers, but those are not this. This is just a straight up hard seltzer spiked sparkling water. Now, outside of this, have you ever had a Topo Chico?
I don't think so.
It's a mineral water.
I recognize the label,
sure,
but I don't think it's anything that I've ever had. Like, I don't think it was that popular a thing growing up in my area. You know, it was something I guess, like, honestly, like, I feel like I've just kind of become more aware of it in the past like 5 years or so.
Yeah,
but I mean, I do recognize it at this point. I've just never had it.
Yeah, so Topo Chico is originally from Monterrey, Mexico, but I think the company is actually owned by Coke, or maybe it's distributed by Coke, one of the two.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's a really popular carbonated mineral water, kind of a la San Pellegrino and what's the other one?
I mean, there's Waterloo.
Perrier. That's what I'm thinking of.
Perrier.
Yeah.
But then there's also the flavored ones that I drank for so long.
Oh, Bublé's.
Well, Bublé too, but then there's like the more popular one, the LaCroix.
Oh, that's right. Or
the LaCroix.
If you're Post Malone, the LaCroix.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it says it right there on the can. Coca-Cola Company.
Oh, does it? I didn't even look at it. So we've got 4 flavors. We got Tangy Lemon Lime. We've got Strawberry Guava.
Nice.
We've got Tropical Mango.
There you go.
And we've got Exotic Pineapple.
Oh, goodness.
I know. Each of these comes in at 4.7% ABV, 2 grams of sugar each, and 100 calories.
There you go.
And I know that you're concerned by this. It's also gluten-free.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be where the craze is kind of hitting its stride in, is like the people who are trying to be gluten-free, or
I'd say health conscious as a whole.
Yeah, it's not as heavy as a full-fledged, beer.
Exactly.
All the carbs and everything.
Well, and that's why I mentioned at the top of the episode, like light and airy. I want lighter beers. So like this fits the bill in some ways. I just haven't found one that I like, and maybe I will today.
There you go.
I'm
on board for the journey.
I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. I do want to point out, like, when I said that it was from, like, regular Topo Chico is sourced in Mexico, this actually says it's filtered water, not from the source, or not from source. So it's probably just good old, Atlanta water.
Tap water.
Yeah. Actually, it says it's produced and bottled for the TC Hard Seltzer Company. So I'm assuming Topo Chico Hard Seltzer, but it's bottled in Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Huh. Milwaukee.
They got a lot of brewers up there.
They do have a lot of brewers. Brewers. Anyway, okay, do we start with weird or do we end with weird?
I was kind of thinking, like, just like the order that you set them in. I feel like we need to start with the lemon lime, because to me that's kind of like your lager, if you will. Like, that's like the baseline of your flavor profile that you're going to try to create for me. And if you can get that right, then I've got hopes for the rest. But if your lemon lime sucks, I'm not looking forward to the journey.
All right, lemon lime it is. I want to point out, not that anyone could see this but you, but I am drinking out of a Narragansett glass. I'm putting mine in a glass and drinking out of my high neighbor Narragansett glass. I'm willing good things because I love this glass and I love Narragansett. So I'm willing good things out of the Topo Chico.
It's a good chance. What color is it?
Clear. It's going to be clear.
Yeah, I think that's just like the seltzer thing.
Yep. I mean, opening that can sounded good. I'm going to pour it up.
Pour it up.
I recognize that I probably shouldn't have poured a full glass because we got 4 of these.
You went all out.
I did. I mean, there's a little bit left in my can here.
Shotgun these 4.
Probably not a good idea. Is it, I know that we talked about this probably about 2 months ago, but is it a thing that like if I put a drink in a small slim can, it makes people think that this is healthy for them?
I think that is part of the marketing ploy.
I mean, it is clear. Like it is
crystal clear, sparkling water.
Bubbly water. Yeah. What you got on the nose?
I mean, it smells like a Sprite, but I feel like I'm leaning into the marketing here that there's a bit of a tanginess to it.
I agree.
A little bit of a sharp edge.
I can say this. The nose is pretty good. Like I don't get aspartame. I don't know what the sweetener is that they're using here.
Not on the nose.
It says sugar, that they're using sugar. So, okay. I mean, you already have me kind of there a little bit.
I mean, there is like a touch of icing, like vanilla icing.
Oh, no. It's that it's a lemon sugar cookie, or those lemon cookies with like the little bit of lemon icing on it. That's what it is. I'm going to say it's actually kind of delightful.
It's lemon lime soda.
All right, shall we? I get vanilla. Like, why do I get vanilla?
I get a lot of vanilla on the palate, but then aftertaste, it is kind of like I'm settled in on that lemon cookie.
Yep.
With like heavy frosting.
Lemon cookie, heavy frosting.
Yeah.
I don't get tangy. You get tangy?
I mean, I would attribute it to the seltzer aspect, just like that bitiness of the bubbles.
I could see that.
But yeah, not from like lemon or lime. Not that like tart that you kind of usually associate with tang. It's more sweet than anything.
Like, it's not displeasing.
Yeah.
Depending on where we are in the timeline, we've already had some seltzers, or we are going to have some seltzers this summer. They're just foul.
Sure.
But this is not.
With a lot of tang.
Yeah. But it's also like, it's weak. I mean, in terms of, like, it's not super amped on flavor.
Right. It is definitely more in that ballpark of a seltzer water.
Yes.
Flavor-wise. Like, it's just a touch of flavor.
Yes.
Not overwhelming flavor.
It reminds me of a LaCroix or a Bublé or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's reminiscent of that flavor. It isn't that flavor, but it's like you spritz that flavor around it.
Yeah. But yeah, not bad.
I don't mind it at all, actually.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it. I don't know if I've actually said it on the podcast, but like I used to be a huge seltzer water drinker.
Right.
Would crush like literally like a 6-pack a day, and then realize
not hard seltzer, regular seltzer.
Yeah, no, just like seltzer water. But realized that the sweetness that I was getting on the flavors from them was creating headaches, and so I like stopped drinking them cold turkey. So there's definitely a point that I can recognize that this would have been absolutely delightful,
right?
And I would have really enjoyed these.
Can I ask, like, and I know you and I have talked about this, but just in case we haven't mentioned it on the podcast, do you think it was like the bubbly nature of the water, or do you think it was like the sweeteners that those were using? And the reason why I asked that is because like sucralose and some of those like monk fruit kind of artificial sweeteners like give me headaches, and they like they make me jittery too. Right.
I've attributed it to whatever the sweetener is because like I don't know, I feel like I can drink bubbly beer. Certainly, like it's not going to be bubbly in that same ballpark, but I don't know. I don't feel like I just don't feel like it's the bubbles. Like I've drank bubbly drinks my whole life, and I don't feel like that was ever an issue.
Not that you're a big soda drinker, but it's not like a soda would do that.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, it's been a long time since I've actually had a soda.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it would. Champagne doesn't do it. I know that.
Whiskey doesn't do it. I know that.
Yeah, no bubbles in that whiskey. Yeah, I don't know. I've just attributed it to like whatever the fake sweetener is that they're using.
Yeah, that I think is part of my problem of most seltzers too, is that just that fake nature.
Yeah.
All right, now that we've got a drink and we're going to sample the other three kind of as we get into this, I was watching a couple of videos on some philosophy perspectives. I've bought a couple new philosophy books, some by some modern philosophers, going back to some of the Plato that I haven't read. That's Plato, not Play-Doh, by the way.
Oh, dang it. I was like, sweet, let's do it. Oh, Plato.
I mean, if you want to play with Play-Doh, we can do that. Can we play with Play-Doh while reading Plato?
Ooh, yeah.
Is that too?
I think you can.
Okay.
I think that's a thing.
So I came across this idea called the region beta paradox. Have you heard of this?
That doesn't ring a bell.
Okay. So here's how I think we'll break this episode up. Okay. I'm going to present to you what the region beta paradox is, and then we'll try another drink, and then we'll discuss the region beta paradox. What do you think?
Okay.
If you Google region beta paradox, you're going to come up with, obviously a lot of people talking about it, probably a Wikipedia article. But essentially, the region beta paradox is this. Or here's an example. It's probably best to like explore this through an example. Okay. An individual is unhappy in their workplace. All right. They go to work every day. They do their job, but they are unhappy in that workplace. But it's not that it makes them like physically ill. It's not that like it's stressing them out so that they can't function. It's just they're unhappy. So they don't change it. They're complacent in that.
Person's at work. They don't like their job.
They don't like their job, but it's not like incredibly terrible. You know, they come home, they have a reasonable home life, everything's good there, but the job is just, it's not great. They're not happy. But because of that, because there's nothing like necessarily like, you know, they're complacent. There's nothing that like is pushing them to leave. It just, they're unhappy. So they're less likely to leave. Whereas if this same individual were in a job that, you know, everyone was being mean to them, they were incompetent, the bosses were terrible, you know, they're being yelled at all the time, they are going to leave far more readily.
Right. More of an incentive to leave.
Correct. Another example, and this is actually by the individual who came up with the region beta paradox, Dan Gilbert. He posited this idea of walking or biking. Let's say reasonably you can walk a mile in 15 minutes. Okay. You could bike 15 miles in maybe an hour. Okay. You are less likely to bike 15 miles because you're used to walking. Like if you walk every day to work, you know that reasonably it's going to take you about 15 minutes. Whereas if you were to get on your bike, you could make that same journey in 2 minutes, but you're not going to do that because it's theoretically a little more difficult. So the region beta paradox essentially says this, that if an individual is in a situation that they can tolerate, that they are less likely to change that situation than if they were in a situation that they simply could not tolerate, which actually, gotcha. in the case of the paradox, which actually leads them to be in worse situations for a longer period of time.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I want to give you one more example before we try another drink.
Okay.
Because I think this one drives it home before we talk about like how this functions.
Gotcha.
Let's say you sprain your ankle. Okay. You can reasonably, you are someone who walks a lot at work. You can reasonably still continue to work on your sprained ankle.
Right.
Like it's not going to be fun. It's going to be a little painful, but you're going to be okay. You can get through it. Right. But by doing that, you actually prolong the healing of your ankle. Whereas let's say you snapped your ankle, like just done.
Sure.
And it's going to take, you know, reasonably 6 weeks to heal that ankle to some degree of walkability, let's say.
Right.
Okay. You taking those 6 weeks is actually going to make your ankle heal far faster than if you just had a sprained ankle and walked on it for a while.
Right.
So that's what the region beta paradox is, that people are more likely to continue to exist in not great situations, not situations that are terrible, just situations that are not great for a longer amount of time. And they're more apt to change terrible situations quicker.
Yeah.
You with me?
Yep.
Let's take a break. Let's go to another beverage, shall we?
Okay.
What do we say next?
I think next is the strawberry guava.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna say right now, this is the one I've actually been looking forward to the most.
Oh, do you want to save it?
No. I want to do it right now. I'm just saying, like, in terms of when I picked up this pack, I was like, that one sounds interesting to me because I like guava. I don't know what your experiences are with guava, but being a Floridian and, you know, from the kind of Tampa area region, guava is a big thing here in this region.
Right.
I like me some guava, man.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
Nice. I spilled some on my shorts.
Of course you did.
I know. I'm going to pour it up. I didn't pour a full glass this time.
Good call.
I know. Just in case.
Man, you drank all of that other one? Dang.
No. No. You see those Glencairns in the back from last week? Yeah. Because I didn't clean them up. I just poured in that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a pour cup. Like a dump cup.
Dump cup. What you got on the nose?
I got strawberry fruit roll up.
I was gonna say strawberry airhead. No, you know those just like singular grandma's kind of candy that were wrapped in like strawberry looking paper. or
Yeah,
like a
have
little
that little
foil.
gooey center.
Yeah, that's exactly what it smells like. You get like general candy and like that is in it.
Yeah, it smells like pink,
It does.
like a pink starburst.
Ooh, yeah.
Some big league chew. Oh,
Kind of like you just open some Skittles, because like Skittles are really all one flavor. They're Skittle flavored.
right. Well, that's not at all true. I completely disagree.
What?
There's like the general overall like smell of Skittles on nose, but palate wise, no, they're completely different.
I can tell you, I'm not a Skittle connoisseur.
Me neither. I've just got a brain.
You cut out, and I assume you said I just got a brain.
I did.
Okay. No, I think you're,
I mean,
I think,
it smells,
no,
it
I
smells
think
good.
I think you're fooled by marketing. That's what it is. That's
Reese's Pieces, yes. M&M's, yes. Skittles, no.
Yeah, I would say I actually like the nose on this better than the Tangy Lemon Lime.
Yeah, it's adjacent. It's very cotton candy, just like straight up candy sweetness.
Yeah.
Doesn't smell as refreshing. Smells a little bit more naughty.
All right, I'm going in.
Does have a little bit of that red mango.
Red mango.
Touch of that red mango. All right, you taking a sip?
I am.
That is 1,000% Big League Chew.
Bubble tape.
The old Big League Chew bubble gum.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking
You
about.
know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah. Like aftertaste and everything.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is.
Yeah. And I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Reminds me of standing in the outfield acting like I know what I'm doing.
Yep. Just thumping on your cup.
Why are you wearing a cup in the outfield?
Man, I wear a cup. I'm playing any sport, man. I'm probably wearing a cup. Just in case.
I've got one good quality and I can't ruin it.
Yeah. Hey, man, you're line drive coming in there that's going to short hop up and grab it. Whoa. Or you're at bat. Like, man, there's just stuff can happen, man.
Oh yeah, okay. The batting. Yeah, okay. I'm with you. What are your thoughts after the
It's
big league chew?
nostalgic. It is very much like childhood candy on the palate. It's nothing I would ever want, though.
Yeah,
Too sweet for me.
weirdly, I agree. Like it is a little. I like the nose better on the strawberry guava, but I like the palate better on the tangy lemon lime.
Yeah, I would agree to that. But this one, like where the lemon lime, like we said, like was just like a touch of flavor. This one has a lot of flavor, and like that flavor is very prominent. But that's just not one that I would ever. If I'm thinking of like a refreshing, it's hot and I want a cold drink, I'm not reaching for that.
It's too bubblegum. It's too fruity in that way for me. Like
It's too 5-year-old.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Makes me feel like watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles while eating a microwavable pizza in my hammer pants.
Ugh. Not your hammer pants. Those are fine. I was saying the microwavable pizza.
Yeah. And my starter jacket.
There it is. Oh, you fancy. Hammer pants and a starter jacket?
Hell yeah.
What you got underneath that starter jacket?
I mean, got them all. Like, it's not starter, it's stater or something like that.
Yeah.
Same font.
Yeah. All right. So back to the region beta paradox.
Yeah.
So why do you think that this is the case? Because like this person, Daniel Gilbert, like studied this idea that we are more likely to exist in an okay or maybe a barely tolerable situation for far longer.
Yeah. That's a really interesting thing. Like, I mean, I think we are creatures of adaptability, and I think we're quick to adapt to a minor inconvenience, especially knowing that like to remove that inconvenience, it's going to require effort on our part. So
Right.
I think we quickly will adjust and be okay with the slight inconvenience and have that become the norm for whatever reason. I'm not sure like why that is, other than just I think that like just human nature is to adapt.
I think it's a matter of hope. I think like generally humans are relatively hopeful animals. And
Yeah.
I think to me, it's a matter of I got into this situation or this thing happened to me, like in the situation of like the work kind of situation, like I get into this situation and I hope it's going to get better. Like,
sure.
I can deal with it and I hope it's going to get better.
Yeah. Hope is a really good word. Like we definitely will cling on to hope with the idea of like, you know what, if just this little thing changed, this whole thing would be better.
Right.
Or maybe tomorrow's the day that my ankle will stop hurting. So I don't really need to do anything about that today because maybe tomorrow it'll be fine.
Right.
That's a good point. We're very hopeful creatures.
When in reality, we end up suffering for far longer because of that clinging to hope or clinging to that perspective of like, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. Or I can at least deal with this. This is tolerable.
Yeah, that's bananas though. Like, I mean, I can think of like several examples of like that exact thing applying. Yeah. I don't know why we do that, but like totally. I'm definitely guilty of that.
Oh yeah.
I will put off so many things until it's like absolutely becomes a necessity. All right, now you have to do it.
Yeah. Well, and that's like, gosh, like I'm thinking of just myself and like all of these examples of like recently I had to go to the dentist and I was putting that off for a while, like hadn't been in, I'm ashamed to say, like since like pre-pandemic. And like just was putting it off. And then one day I'm like, this hurts. I should go.
Yeah, now it's an issue.
Yeah, and then at that point, like made the appointment, and the appointment, like I couldn't be seen almost right away, so I had to deal with it even longer, and it was an issue. But then it's like, man, if I would have like just done this when like I knew I needed to do it, it wouldn't have been an issue.
Right.
Or like even I don't know, like simple maintenance things, like you know, house maintenance.
Like that's the clearest example that I've got. Like had an issue with a car. One of the cars that we currently own had an issue with it not wanting to start right away.
Mm-hmm.
The issue probably started, like 4 or 5 years ago, like probably pre-pandemic. And it got worse and worse and worse. And it got to the point where it was just like, we just avoided that vehicle. Like we just wouldn't take that car anywhere because it always felt like a bit of a gamble of like, sometimes it would start on the first try. Sometimes it would start on the 5th try. Sometimes it would take you a half hour to start the car.
Ooh.
Eventually it got to the point, it just won't start anymore. And then it was finally like, okay, now we have to do something about it. But like we rationalized the thing for so long of like, so maybe you leave for work 5 minutes early just so you've got time to the car to crank. Or, we're actually saving gas just by using one car and not using that other one. Like we're gonna get longer value out of that car eventually when we do fix it. So it's actually a good thing. We're not putting miles on that one. Like you rationalize these stupid things of like why it's actually okay that you're not doing it.
Whereas,
it's okay that I'm not getting my ankle checked on because it's gonna make the tendon stronger and it's probably gonna last longer anyway. So
exactly.
that's just the right thing to do.
Whereas if you would have taken the hour to take the car in and deal with that frustration and then figure out what was going on.
So many hours of frustration and Google searching and trying to solve it myself could have been wiped away.
Yeah. I literally just had this experience, and I know that I've shared some of it on the podcast with my car. Like I recognized, so I had a battery issue. I know that we talked about that some months back. I got that fixed. And then I think in relation to the battery issue, I had an AC issue, and I actually knew what the issue was. And it had something to do with the blower fan in the car. And I had this conversation with myself. I can fix this myself. And I could probably reasonably do it. But how much time is it going to take me? Do I want to do this? And I made a decision, which is unlike me. Nope. Let's just take it to the mechanic and he'll have it done today. And he had it done today. And, obviously it cost me the parts and then his labor, but I was like, and the thing's fixed. And I don't have to worry about it now.
I don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah. And I can drive in a car that is cool. And in Florida, that is almost a necessity.
Right.
I have some other ideas associated with this, but we've got another drink.
Yeah, we got to get through these things.
Okay.
They're staring at me.
Can I just say, though, so far, these two, they have both been tolerable, unlike some other things I've had. Do I want the strawberry guava? I don't, but I could tolerate it.
Sure.
All right. Shall we go to the tropical mango?
Tropical mango.
Here we go. Oh, I got on my glasses.
Damn.
don't know what just happened, but I spilled it all over me. Not just on my pants.
Woo! This one got some funk on it.
It smells like foot.
Like hot dog water.
I was gonna say locker room.
I mean, it's got like that kind of
hot dog water. I'm sorry, that's like perfect.
It's obviously got like the mango flavor that you kind of picture.
Yeah.
But then there's also just like dank hot dog water.
That was my nickname in college.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not mango. It's got mango hints. There's a little bit of red mango like hiding in the back.
Yeah.
But it's not full force.
Ain't no red mango in this. Yellow mango, maybe.
Green.
When you get it just right, man, I mean, it really kind of like gives my tummy a twist.
I would say this one's more tangy than the Tangy Lemon Lime.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm getting another bubblegummy note.
Yeah, I'm getting like juicy fruity.
Yeah, like this is going to be a gum that I'm going to chew for like 5 chews and the flavor's going to be gone.
Yeah. What was that fruit stripe gum?
Yeah. The zebra gum.
Yeah.
You chew it twice and it's like, what?
Well, that didn't last long.
Exactly. God, why is there gum everywhere? All right, I'm going in. Ew.
That's weird.
No.
Like coconut, like raw coconut water.
Ugh.
Well, a lot of bitter.
I don't know what that flavor is.
That's almost like aperitif.
I was going to say, like, it leans super medicinal. Like, there's nothing mango about that flavor. No mango I've ever had. Ugh, I just took a big sip, like a big gulp.
Yeah.
And I can see fruit, but not mango.
Like, strangely enough, I feel like that one, more so than the other ones, could actually be used to make an interesting cocktail.
Oh, yeah. I like put a little bit of gin in there, maybe.
Yeah, it's got like a depth of flavor that's got some interesting things happening. It's just like in this form, it's not palatable.
Ooh.
But I feel like if you dressed it up, it kind of could be.
I even feel like, I mean, we've been drinking these, in a glass, but just straight out of the can. I feel like this one might deserve some ice. Like maybe that would cut through it a little bit.
Because I feel like this one more so than the other two has a bit of like a roller coaster type effect of different things happening on my palate.
Yeah, as I've acclimated to it, it's not as off-putting. If I were offered another one of these, I would try a different flavor because this one ain't it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, the other two palatable. I would rather the lemon lime.
This is a weird thing of like I feel like the bubbles hurt it. The seltzery nature of this one like is fighting against the flavors. It feels confusing.
I think it accentuates the flavors, and because of that, it's accentuating the wrong notes. Like you're getting the notes that you don't actually want.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if this didn't have like that seltzer bite from the bubbles, if it were just flat and still, I think it'd be way better.
Yeah, I'm almost getting a like lactosey note too.
Like I could see where you're going with that. The sweetness on it does kind of suggest that.
Yeah, not like lactosey as in like creamy, but like that, you know what I mean? Like that flavor that a lactose in a beer would impart.
I agree. Phew.
Okay, so back to the region beta paradox. Region beta paradox. So another aspect of this is not just like we're prone to complacency, but it's also that perspective of those intense or stressful situations.
Right.
For example, back to like that biking scenario. You will bike a further distance, but in less time. So you're far likelier to recover quicker because it's taken less time. Or the other example, you're going to recover quicker from a broken bone than from a sprain because you actually take the time to recover.
Right.
So the phenomenon also is interpreted, or this paradox is also interpreted in that people generally recover far more quickly from intense emotions, intense pain, intense situations than from less distressing experiences.
Huh.
So
interesting.
So in other words, like you think that these situations are going to be worse, but in reality, they are better because you were able to recover from them far quicker.
Right.
It's the ripping off the Band-Aid. It's not the actual ripping off of the Band-Aid that hurts. It's the anticipation of the ripping off of the Band-Aid. So let's just leave the Band-Aid on for a long time.
Right.
Which actually makes it worse rather than just like take that Band-Aid and just done.
Go. That's interesting. I mean, I feel like there's also like an element of previous experience that also plays into this though, of like, Yeah, but I can remember I tried that one time, and that one time it didn't work, and I'm afraid that's going to happen again. And with that element of like self-doubt,
Right.
and like if you're the person that has ripped off the Band-Aid and you're confident, you've gone through that experience, and yes, that'll be quick and easy, and I'm confident I can do it. But if you're that timid, and like I know somebody's telling me just to do it, but like I'm nervous, and I go to do it, and I don't achieve it on that first pull, and like now I'm in an awful situation. It hurts. Like I think there's like an element of that too, of just like the self-doubt that creeps in makes the outcome more likely to be negative. Whereas if you are confident and you approach it with that confidence, there's no issue.
So that leads
There's
me,
an element of growth that comes along with it.
so that leads me to like, I think that the point of the paradox and the point of the recognition is not that there's a solution necessarily, but there's the understanding that these things exist. So does that make an individual more willing to, for the metaphor, rip off the Band-Aid? Or does it just like, okay, I recognize that I'm in this region beta and I need to be okay with that?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I mean, I'm still going back to like I know for a fact that the reason that I was willing to go so long without changing a part on my car is that I've had negative experiences with mechanics.
Right.
And I don't want to go through that experience again. So I'm willing to like go through this frustration with this car and trying to avoid that bad scenario and having to go through that again.
Which is funny because now that you've been through that bad snenario, you know how to deal with it.
Well,
you know what I mean?
It was more or less an issue of like this time it was a great mechanic. It was, he did the job quick, fast, efficiently in no time. But, it was that previous experience of like, you know what, I tried this once before, had an issue with a car and was with mechanic. They tried to like charge me for like, $7,000 to fix a $50 problem. And I hate having to like deal with that issue. So like I'm willing to go through the frustration of trying to get through this as long as I can without having to potentially go through that again.
See, that's the funny thing to me, and I agree completely. That's the funny thing to me about knowledge and understanding is like, had you gone into that situation and not have had that prior experience, this would probably be a non-issue. But because now you know what this issue can lead to, then it just prolongs another issue.
Yeah, totally.
So it's almost like there really is no good situation or good scenario. So then does it just come down to, I know that this is going to take X amount of time, or this is going to be a problem for X amount of time. Let me mitigate that as that length of time as much as I can.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I mean, I think we are creatures of habit again, of expectation of what, my day is going to be. And if I've got to adjust from that in any way, that's abrasive to my happiness or to my vibe.
Right.
So it's how can I, what's going to be more abrasive to that? Is walking on this sprained ankle going to affect that expectation of what my day is? Whereas if I have to go to the doctor, that's just throwing everything out of any plans or any expectations that I've had have now been completely altered. Maybe only for a short period of time, but I can still kind of carry on through the day as normal with this like little, every time I take a step, kind of emotion. I don't know. Yeah, I keep going back to the rationalization of it. And I think we are just so quick to rationalize things and adapt and like have this be the new norm.
Right.
Until it is completely unavoidable.
I don't have an answer. And that's what I love about it. Like, I don't have an answer. I don't necessarily think there is an answer, only because there are so many factors.
It's kind of reminding me of like that whole, if you have a decision that has to be made, you have to choose a sandwich, and you've got 5 sandwiches in front of you. You just need to choose one to eat. But you like every single one of them. So you start to go through all the thought processes of like, what's the best selection? What am I in the mood for? And if you could go at it like Spock, emotionless,
yeah,
it should be a quick, easy choice to be made because you're taking emotion out of it.
Right.
But then like, there's also the argument, well, actually it's the emotion that makes you make the choice. If you take emotion out of it and you just use logic, you can think your way to any answer that you want. It's like statistics. Like you can make it say whatever you want. You could follow that route forever. So, but it's like, it's like the balance of the two. It's like using the logic with the emotion and what is the best selection in this choice.
Difficult.
But there's not
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
You know?
And I think that like, you're also kind of bringing in some decision fatigue into that. And it's also this like, what am I willing to tolerate? What am I willing to put up with? And what has to be addressed right now? And
Right.
we all do this. We all put off things, hoping they'll get better or hoping that, they'll work themselves out or whatever, knowing, cognitively knowing this is a problem, it's not going to go away.
And the hope, I think, plays into that whole, like, memory aspect too, of like, there probably was a time where you had an issue that needed to be dealt with that did just go away.
Right.
That for whatever reason, things did change or that it did get better just by chance. And so you're also playing on that memory too. So it's all just a big, it just depends on the experiences you've had that are making you react the way that you are.
Hey, speaking of hoping things are going to get better and reacting, we've got one more drink.
Indeed we do.
And we're going to end on the exotic pineapple.
Yes, we are.
All right, you ready?
I'm so ready.
Did you like my segue, by the way?
That's really good, man. You were sitting on it.
Well, I was looking for a way in.
There it is.
I'm going to try not to spill it all over me this time.
All right. Over under. Is this the best one or the worst one?
I'm going to say it's the best. I want to be hopeful.
I'm with you. I like pineapple.
So much so that I poured a full glass here.
Expecting to drink it? Wow.
No. Just because I ran out of my dump cup.
Dump cup.
Well, that is a funky nose. It's like when you're nosing it up close, I don't get pineapple. Away from the glass, I get pineapple.
Like
sniff
at
this,
first
sniff the
sniff, it feels like fake pineapple.
Yes.
But then as I really inhale deep, it becomes really natural.
Yeah. Like smell the can real quick. Like not the glass, but the can smells more like fruit cup pineapple to me.
Yeah.
But then you smell the liquid.
Pineapple syrup.
Yeah, but then you smell the liquid and it smells like legit like pineapple tidbits or pineapple slices or whatever.
I mean, to be fair, like I'm using the same glass over and over and over again.
Yeah, me too.
So there may be like a little bit of like, candy residue left over.
Sure.
But like as I really take in a deep breath, it starts to smell like just fresh cut pineapple.
Yeah. I'd say that is the most pleasant nose.
Yeah. I mean, if you've ever had like fresh cut pineapple, like that stuff is like candy.
Oh, yeah. All right. Enough sniffing. Time for sipping.
I like it, man.
Yeah. That is the most true flavor for sure.
I hate the flavor on the palate. The aftertaste comes through and saves it.
Yes.
And makes it really feel like you actually just ate a piece of pineapple.
To me, the flavor of the initial palate is just mineral water. And
yeah, it's like minimal flavor.
Yeah, it's not really appetizing. It's on almost like super back end, and then the exhale where it's like, hey, there's your pineapple.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre.
Yeah, that is the most palatable. That smells the best. That is the most drinkable for me.
Yeah, like I could definitely see this as being refreshing.
Yep.
I honestly feel like I could drink this at a meal.
Yep.
And like substitute like water.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not that strong of a flavor. It is just kind of more of an accented, almost like palate neutralizing kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's like a lemon water, but there's like a lemon wedge. You know what I mean? Like it's just like there's a little bit of lemon essence.
Like I wish the carbonation was a little lower. But yeah, I think that is actually refreshing.
The problem is though, I feel like if you were drinking this on a hot day, like you're at the beach or something, you'd like crush 2 of these real quick, and then you'd be like, "Whoo!"
That might be the objective though.
That's true, and it's not because you're crushing 2 of them. It's only 4.7 each, but it's because of how fast you would drink these. That 4.7 is going to hit you quick.
Yeah, especially you're working on an empty stomach, out in the sun, baking.
Yeah. Wait, I thought we were on an empty stomach. Now we're eating bacon?
No, you're in the sun baking.
Oh.
Your sourdough.
I got you.
My sourdough's burning.
Is that your buns? That's your buns, isn't it?
Maybe. Yeah, I would dare say
That one
I
ain't bad.
kind of enjoy that.
Yeah, that one ain't bad at all. Here's my rating real quick. I'm gonna go bottom to top. I'm gonna go tropical bottom to top overall. Both flavor and palate. I'm gonna go tropical pineapple at the bottom. I'm gonna go strawberry guava third spot. Second spot is tangy lemon lime, and top spot exotic pineapple.
I would honestly go the exact same route.
I don't know if I've found the hard seltzer that I like. I will say this: I have found a hard seltzer in this exotic pineapple that I think is tolerable and I would not mind having. Is that a mark of like I like it? I don't know if I'm gonna go so far and say like, yeah, I do like that.
Well, I mean, are you to a point where you feel like, yeah, you know what? I need a hard seltzer on hand.
That's tough. And the reason why I say that is because I've been trying to drink less beer because I've recognized like I really like beer, but beer makes me feel gross. Like I've started to recognize that. And like a lighter beer, like a light lager or a pale ale, like a light pale ale, like those affect me less than like an IPA.
Right.
So I've started to kind of like play with that. So like that question, like, do I need a seltzer on hand? I'm not there, but I could see myself being in that realm. Right now, do I want a seltzer over a lager? I don't. I would much rather just beer. Give me beer.
Well, I would put it more so in the conversation of like, would you prefer a seltzer over a gin and tonic?
Absolutely not. I would rather a gin and tonic.
Not necessarily to say like I think this is better.
Yeah.
But it's like, what I really want is a gin and tonic.
Yes.
But I don't want to go through the process of making it, or I would just like something immediately.
Perfect.
So
point.
I would, this shift to the seltzer.
That's a super good point. Like this kind of gives you some of those similar notes. I would rather a gin and tonic. So then I guess the question becomes like, is there a good canned gin and tonic? If there's a good canned gin and tonic, I would probably more gravitate towards that. Yeah. But if that's what really the question is, I think this is not a bad substitute, especially the exotic pineapple. I'm satisfied with it.
Right.
But if the question is, would I rather this over a beer? I wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely not to the point of like, I feel like it's like, I would have seltzers available if I knew I'm likely to have somebody come to the house that prefers that.
Yes.
Then absolutely. I want to have that on hand for that person. Or if we're going to throw a big party or something, we usually have some seltzers on hand just in case somebody has a gluten allergy or something like that. Like we've got options.
Right.
But for myself and for my palate, it's still just not anything that I'm in the realm of thinking like, you know what, it'd be good to have that on hand.
Correct.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Like I would still, in my head, I'm still thinking like if I wanted to go this route and go lighter and less filling, I'm going to go in a beer.
Perfect point.
I'm still in that realm. Like I still really like those, and that still gives me the kind of the flavor and the experience that I'm wanting to get flavor wise, but just not like absolutely like dragging me down that a couple of beers can do.
So in that case, like would I, if that's also the question, would I rather this or that Sam Adams Just a Haze? Give me that Just a Haze, because that is fantastic.
Absolutely delicious.
Give me that.
Yeah, it's great flavor, and like you're not bringing in the alcohol too, so it's like even better for you if that's really what you're trying to accomplish.
Right. I mean, all that to say, again, like I like this journey, and I love the experimentation. As much just BS as we've had to wade through to find some that are decent, I like that experimentation, and I think that's what it's about.
Sure.
Well, you got anything else?
All right, you got your dump cup.
Oh, are you really gonna do it?
Yeah, I mean it can't be. It's got to be just straight up, not the regular strawberry fruit roll up, but it's got to be like that tropical fruit roll up.
All right, give me a second. Dump cup.
All four.
Oh.
1,000%. It's straight up juicy fruit.
It's straight up. Yeah, it's absolutely
1,000%.
No, it's like the paper, that wax paper after a fruit roll up. That's what it smells like. It doesn't smell like the fruit roll up. It smells like the wax paper.
Not bad. It's not bad.
God,
is that the best?
This one's gonna be the best, isn't it? All right, going in.
No,
that's God, that is terrible.
That's awful.
Wow, that is terrible. Holy,
that tastes like throw up.
It tastes like
man.
It tastes like vomit smells.
God blessed.
Whoa.
Where did the like intense bitter come from?
I don't know.
Man, it tastes like bile.
I need one more sip just to make sure.
Ooh.
I think it's the strawberry guava. I think that's what's like.
Man, that is absolutely worse than the sum of its parts. Oh my god.
Like that's, dare I say, painful. That's painful.
Phew.
Ugh.
That's
All right.
disgusting.
Well, in the name of science, we did it, but that was not good.
Oh man. Cool.
I'll give you $1, drink the whole thing.
No way. Not worth it. Phew.
Oh God. Well,
That's bizarre. I would not have like betted on that ever.
no, I
I
would
would have thought for sure this is just going to be some sort of like fruit cocktail,
exactly, like it's gonna make it better. It did not make it better.
fruit punch. No,
It definitively made it worse.
man,
God.
demonstrably like far worse than any of them.
Well,
Man, it's like you took like your 24 pack of crayons and like I want to see what they all look like together. Oh God,
what color is that?
that's not a pretty color
That
at
is-
all.
That is baby poo color.
Yeah, for science.
On that note, you got anything else?
No, I mean I'm gonna have a sip of something else now. Get this horrible taste out of my mouth. Oh man.
Well, we want to know, what do you think about the Topo Chico Hard Seltzers?
Yeah, absolutely. Have you tried those out? And give us ideas on where our next seltzer journey should go to, because Nick's really interested.
I am. Should we find a canned gin and tonic that's good? Like I'm willing to experiment with that too.
That's another area that we could start to take this kind of thing of,
Oh yeah.
yeah, is there a decent pre-mixed gin and tonic or a decent old fashioned or margarita or whatever it is?
Yeah. Because I mean, you think about the canned cocktail, and do you want to bring all your cocktail accoutrements to a location? No, probably not. But I could bring, a little mini cooler and then a couple cans or a small little bottles. Yeah, absolutely.
That'll be on the plane. And hey, yeah, can I just get a cup of ice?
Yeah,
Crack.
exactly.
Ooh, totally.
And we also want to know, what do you think about the region beta paradox? Where do you fall in all of that?
Yeah, what do you think about the region beta paradox? Like, what's your best example of it? Because absolutely, you've got to have one that popped into your head of like, oh yeah, there was that time that like I dealt with that issue for far too long, and then the solution to it was absolutely so simple that it made no sense why I didn't address it earlier.
Well, you can get in touch with us through email. It's drepandstone@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us through social media.
It's always one word, Drep and Stone, DREP and Stone. You find us, you like a thing, share a thing, comment on a thing, and we'll appreciate your things.
Yeah. And actually, reach out to us and let us know what you were drinking throughout this episode, whatever it is. Just shoot us a message on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, and say, hey guys, y'all need to feature this on an episode, and then we will.
And if we can't get it, maybe you can get it for us.
Boom.
Yeah. Speaking of supporting the podcast, you can support the podcast through our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/drepandstone. A lot of really cool things going on there. Just keeps the lights on, keeps the fan running, and that recording machine recording.
Keeps the seltzers flowing.
Well, much to your chagrin, that is also the case. You can also support the podcast by rating Drep and Stone wherever it is you find great podcasts like this one. And finally, you can support the podcast by telling a friend while you're on vacation to those exotic locales, wherever it is that you're
having
going.
an exotic pineapple.
Exactly. Just say, hey, have you heard about Drep and Stone? And that person next to you might say, actually, yes. And now you've made a friend that you didn't even know you had. Or they might say no.
Then you make a new friend because you introduce them to Drep and Stone.
Either way, you've made a new friend.
Yeah.
And you're sipping on something delicious.
Friends are good.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
May your glass overflow.
And your ass never show.
How are we clinking here? We virtual clinking?
On your end, or do a screen clink.
Oh, did you smack your phone?
Yeah. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Is that then they're Coco Locos?
What was that crazy drink though? Something loco?
Four Loco?
Was it Four Loco?
Fucking terrible. What are you drinking?
Wild shit.
Four Loco.
Four Loco. You okay, my guy?
Say a couple more things. It looks so mad. Hold on. I gotta get a picture. Do that again. Uh-oh. If you can hear me, I'm sorry. Oh, you're back. Nope, that's not me. Why's your mango green?
Although, if you're concerned about calories.
Well, good news is I've got that cast strength Bill Phil that you left.
Don't do that.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I was just kidding. I wouldn't do that.
You tease too hard.
What kind of friend do you think I am that I would drink this without you?
Oh, I know what kind of a friend you are, but I'm just saying, man, don't tease so hard.
Oh, don't tease. Y'all bought that Tears of the Kingdom yet?
Not yet. Did you?
Oh, buddy.
Friends are good.